This is a genuine, heartfelt question, I guess, and perhaps commonly asked question from students, householders, I think. I just want to say a few things. Although you may already have an answer within you, just couldn't implement your ideal. So two things, right? You're talking about the householders' life, helping others, and the sadhana practice. These should not be contradicted. There isn't a real conflict between those two, sadhana and helping others, as you know, as long as both come from the same intention. What is that? What is the intention?
To help all sentient beings.
Benefiting others and perhaps reducing self-clinging. Those two things. As long as they're both sadhana practice and doing dishes and helping others come from the same intention, reducing self-importance or self-clinging, self-attachment, and benefiting beings, then no conflict. Should not have a conflict. For example, helping your housemates with a kind heart should be a dharma practice, right? Is dharma practice. That's the whole point of dharma practice, in a way. If it's done with bodhicitta, as you just cultivated, it purifies and accumulates merit, just like a mantra. Doing prostrations and other stuff. At the same time, sadhana is what keeps your compassion clear and steady. We need a steady practice in order to benefit others. Without the practice, or I should say, without the cushion practice, for us, like a novice beginners, we need a practice. So without practice, actions, these kind of actions, easily lose wisdom and balance. Buddhist practice is brilliant, balancing both two. Sometimes, without practice, just do for others, like going after the Africa to become a volunteer to help others. Those are such a noble things to do. But then if we don't have a practice, easily burn out and not so efficient. The key is not choosing one over the other, but asking ourselves, which action right now reduces my self-clinging and increase compassion. So always coming back. It's not like a simple black and white answer. No, you should do this or something. Always we need to cultivate more like a discerning wisdom, asking ourselves what I'm doing right now or what I'm about to do. Is this helping or the just avoidance from my formal practice? Or always have to keep asking ourselves, heart open. So whether this action is increasing my compassion, I'm trying to avoid the housework, then just come back to the cushion, or vice versa. Always tricky, right? Our heart, our mind is still very weak, and so we need to keep asking. And that is a practice. Someday that will be your mantra recitation or mantra session, and some days it will be washing dishes. And do both simultaneously eventually. Become seamless. So keep your essential daily commitment steady like a river. Steady river. We need like a steady river. Not sometimes just do a lot. Then next day completely stop. Not like that. More like a steady river, but don't be rigid, have to be this way. Yeah, remember in Vajrayāna, ordinary life, ordinary activities can become a sadhana. Sometimes I use this phrase, daily practice as a sadhana. For example, Vajrayogin practice or some sadhana practice if you have, 24 hours is the sadhana practice. Yeah, for example, you visualize the other sentient being as the emanation of Vajrayogini and recite mantra wherever while you're waiting at the doctor's office, and then offer your action as service. Those are important things. So key is the motivation. Right? When motivation is pure, both inner and outer practice support each other and they become one path. For example, sometimes people think, oh, I don't have time, or I want to do just the practice on the cushion. Of course, we have a long-term retreat or something like that. That's also important component. But we need to test ourselves to come out of the cushion and see that has been an effective practice or not, or just doing avoidance from annoyance of daily activities or something. We need to have both, and it should not be contradicted. So the balancing both sadhana and helping being is not a matter of choosing one over others, as I said. It's about bringing everything onto the path. For example, bringing the sadhana into a daily life and bringing your service into your sadhana, something like that. So when both are infused with bodhicitta, I'm repeating myself, importance of bodhicitta, they should support each other and the path becomes seamless and more transparent.
That was really helpful. Thank you. So there's a lot I can use there. Part of my question is I see the initiative to try and do like 100,000 prostrations and 100,000 mantra repetitions. And I guess, can you add a little more given that kind of thing, like the number, having a specific number?
So that's good question. Once we get into those number accumulation, as I said, steady river is very important. So I would suggest, or our great masters suggested, to structure our practice. For example, morning, I will commit myself, whatever, 40 minutes or 1 hour. Then evening, I have this. This is my time. This is my time, actually, date with the deities. So I set up that aside. The other places I can negotiate. I can do whenever my family need my help, I can go there. So we need to let the family know as well. This is my time. I really want to express. I think they should understand your intention if you are sincere. And so that's structuring and also steadiness. Those two are important things. Of course, intention. Otherwise, always pulled by the daily activities. It's endless, right? When we think about it.
I really struggle with structure. And I think especially lately, my determination, I guess, or, just strength of mind doesn't seem to be there to be able to kind of push myself to do anything on either side of that spectrum, to be honest, like the daily life or the spiritual practice. It's just like not doing anything,
Yeah.
And I was just wondering if you have any tips to, I guess, kind of get some like...
Yeah, that's the whole point, right? The motivation. We have to come back always. First scope, even before entering into the first scope. Or just rest in the impermanence. Death and impermanence. Live with that edge. We kind of indulge in the daily life and forgot about tomorrow may not come. A complacency. Yeah, that one. That could happen. You are not the only one. Sometimes forgot about motivation and just daily activities, whatever, just flow, like as if we live forever. Yeah, it's very important to come back the preciousness of human life. That's a basic, right? And the death and the impermanence. And both two, those are important things. Just do that for 1 month. Forget about other practices. It's naturally your practice will unfold.
I've always found it kind of a bit frustrating and ironic that the meditation on death is supposed to be the antidote to laziness, but I'm too lazy to do the meditation on death. And it's kind of frustrating trying to kind of like, it feels like, trying to start a broken lawnmower, constantly pulling the ring, ding, 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 and then, nothing, ring, ding, and it just never kind of properly starting up.
Yeah, so anything in your daily life, for example, just imagine for your daughter whom you love so much, Tonren or something, if we feel that suffering happens, may not be right now, but also she's under the control of this suffering world. And feel that. Then when you connect to your heart, naturally compassion rises. I want to do something for this girl. When my son was born, I never expected how I feel. But I could do anything for this boy, this baby. That's the first thing arose in my heart. That's natural as a parents, or all of you, whoever, you have a love, right, in your life, you can do something. Then compassion arises. But then I'm also suffering. I'm also drowning. I have to get out of this river of suffering, So then something motivates you to do something about it. Then whole map laid out. So don't think too much about the whole map, but just step by step. Just one thing at a time when that happens. For example, just focusing on refuge, or just focusing on compassion and love, if that is easier for us to access. So that's kind of human heart. Once you get that, then try to cultivate that, extend that feeling to all beings. Also, as I say, Tonren's good, so you can chant, then you can feel it. Maybe it's be good to cry sometimes, cry about our own frustration about the practice. Really feel the heart. That's also very important. And sometimes we get so dried and black and white and blame ourselves. I'm not doing good enough and something like that. No, we have these opportunities, So, important to connect the human heart as well. So in terms of sadhana practice, of course, formal sadhana practice is a method, right? What trains your mind so you are helping become more skillful. Because sadhana practice have everything in a sense when we trained. If we know how to practice, we can integrate everything into one practice, one sadhana practice. Vajrasattva practice there, and emptiness meditation there, Tonren meditation there, Guru Yogas there, and offering and letting go of our grasping there, everything there if we know how to practice. Recently I talked about that, sadhana practice and the essential component of sadhana practice. Those are very helpful. But if you feel overwhelmed at this point, then just start right here, right now. Something we can connect. So balance comes from awareness, not from counting minutes or numbers. That's important things.